Hey, I'm going to talk about some DIY live rock. Saw a lot of recipes on YouTube, online, just like I guess you're doing too, and had a couple ideas that I felt like might benefit to let people know. First, I'm going to just go over the ingredients again. I think most importantly, white Portland cement is the way to go. The gray just doesn't look good, doesn't look natural. I mean, you can use it. It's cheaper. You can find it at Lowe's, but I think in general it just doesn't give the natural effect that you want to. I used crushed oyster shells. You can find that at Tractor Supply. You can rinse it if you want to. You can also use crushed seashells or rock if you want to. Those are fine, but I like oyster shells. Some sand, water softener salt, Dixie crystals. Find that at hardware store, Lowe's. Water, and just basically ideas. A lot of people are making live rock that looks like ocean rock. I kind of thought I made a whole bunch of this. I actually made some stuff to start with, and then kind of realized it seemed like to me if I had the option to make a rock any way I wanted to, I might actually want to make it into design that's still both functional for the saltwater aquarium, yet creates an aesthetic value of what you'd want to create in a theme. So I came up with the idea of doing like a Lost City of Atlantis theme, and so I made a couple of patterns, and I'm going to show you. First of all, I started with some orange juice containers. I just used this to made this frame to help keep the orange juice containers from blowing out whenever you fill them up with. They kind of want to round off, and it's a lot better to have a concave pattern than a convex, because then the blocks will stack better, and I'll kind of show you some samples of that. Also, I came up with an idea to make columns. This is the mold for the column, but essentially it's using 6-inch PVC pipe I got from a scrap from a construction site nearby, and 3/4-inch PVC pipe. Neat thing about it is that if you cut the 3/4-inch PVC pipe in half on a table saw, it actually that takes off about 1/8 of an inch. It ended up being perfect that whenever you put it all around the inside of this, it takes 18 pieces of that to go around the inside of this 6-inch PVC pipe, that it actually just snaps into place. So it's not glued or anything. It makes it real easy to get the mold out. So once you get them kind of stood up all the way inside there, you can just kind of pop it back into place. Well, actually, they all fell out, but you get the idea. You saw it before it was put together. Here's a piece that I've already put into the mold, to the column stuff. It's kind of a more porous pattern, and I'll kind of go over that here in just a second as I take that out. But let me show you some examples of what I'm talking about. You might have to step over here. So this is the kind of Lost City of Atlantis theme thing. I'm setting up a 75-gallon in-wall aquarium here in this basement that I'm in the process of finishing. The blocks I was talking about, using the orange juice. Of course, you know, you make some defects in it using salt to fill in some of those additional spaces, and I'm still under the process of curing these, so these actually were pulled in from outside. And here are the column pieces, so that, you know, they look like they've been under a lot of wear. I actually just pulled this one. That one's the one that just came out of the mold right here. This one's got a hole all the way through it, plus a large defect in the side. And again, what I did was I was putting the concrete in. I'm actually making these videos backwards, so I'm not going to label which step this is, because I'm actually going to have to go back and make a video that shows how to mix the stuff up. But as you mix together, as you're putting it into the mold, I just put a lot of salt in just to fill the dead space, so that as it fills up, you know, whenever it melts out, it's clear. So but you can see how you can get a design here pretty easily. I think this will allow offsetting and turning blocks different ways. Will give plenty of shelves to set corals on, to nice flat surfaces. You have some surfaces here on your columns, maybe even the column laying on your side. I'm going to give a couple extra pieces. But it gives plenty of places, plenty of architecture, and I think as I put real pieces of live rock in here, this gets all encrusted with coralline algae, it'll look really good. Some other examples of some rocks. There's actually a tutorial already on Tonga branches, and I did a similar thing to this other guy, except I put some, probably used a little bit more wet sand and put some patterns in the sand as I fitted it in, using a mortar bag to squeeze out the Portland cement mixture. So my mixture for the rocks is, I used a lot of people use a 3-2-1 mixture, which is 3 parts aggregate, 2 parts salt, and 1 part Portland cement. I found that maybe it was a little weak, and so I used basically I used 4 parts aggregate, 2 parts Portland cement, and then 2 parts salt. That seemed to work pretty good, and actually I was curious on how porous this rock is, and I just pulled it out of the water to bring it in here so I could film this, and it'd been sitting here like 20 minutes, and I could still hear water falling out of the rock. Like I pick it up and there's nothing, but you hold it up to your ear, you can feel water bubbles popping and water falling out. So it is actually really porous. The columns, because I wanted to get this detail, this fluted detail, it's actually 2 parts aggregate, 2 parts sand, 2 parts Portland cement, and 2 parts salt. So it's like a 2-2-2-2 mixture. And that seems to look pretty good. It gives some detail. The one I'm actually going to pull out here in a second is a little bit different. For the Tonga branch, it's sand and Portland cement, like 2-to-1. You know, and because you want to make it strong, I put a little bit of salt in there. Threw a little bit of salt on the surface, just try to make some defects. But being that it's so branched out, it needs to be a lot stronger. So so let me show you. We'll remove a piece here, and so I'm going to set this up on top of here so I can just drive out. Usually I find if I drive just 1 or 2 of these pieces out, it makes it a lot easier to remove that whole mold. And this is set for 24 hours, and I've made many a mistake of trying to pull this out too soon. And especially on my first couple attempts of rocks, when you get impatient and you want to look at it and see what you've done. And I did find that the mixture I had, there we go, the mixture I'd set up originally was, try to keep these separated. So this one again, I went for trying to get a more porous look and a lot of defects. You'll see the areas where the salt is piled up to make the hole, and as that melts out, then there'll be a large defect in the column. So like here's the area of salt. There's an area of salt, and so this will look like a pretty good degraded column. I didn't put the hole through the center on this one, but it just looks like one's kind of broken up and ready to go. So I'll put this out here in my water bath and let the salt melt out pretty quick, and it'll have to cure for several months, but it'll be good to go. So let's see if I can think of anything else I need to tell y'all, and then I'll come back to this later. I guess we'll talk more on the next video.